Lab Addicts Music Group. 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 Addicts Music Group.
Oh, I'm on mute. I've been on mute. My bad, y'all. Before we go any further, shouts out. Gotta give respects to the Most High for allowing us to see it to another day. Yeah. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. And what we're going to talk about tonight is entrepreneurship. What's going on, Scorp? Thank you. Because with the way that the economy is right now, the way everything's going, everyone should have a side gig. Everyone should have something that, in the event that you lose your full-time job, you got something you can fall back on, something that you enjoy doing. And one of the things that I did along with my full-time job is I've been doing government contracting for about 2.5 years. And I won't say that I didn't take it seriously, but I would find a bid, I would find a contracting opportunity, and I would work it, and I would write the bid out, and I would get all the information that I would need from the companies that I would partner with, companies that would subcontract under me, and I would submit bids and things like that. But I really didn't, I wouldn't say take it seriously until 9 months ago when I was laid off from my corporate job. So when I got laid off from my corporate job, I knew that I wasn't really looking for a job. I really wasn't looking for a job. I wanted to see with what I could do with the government contracting company that I had created. And about 9 months ago when I was first laid off. There were a few contracting opportunities that I worked on. I got the information, got the quotes for how much it would cost for the work to be performed, and I submitted about, in the first 2 months of when I was laid off, I submitted about 8 bids. I submitted about 8 bids. And of those 8 bids, 2 of them I had the best price, but I got I got eliminated because there was a couple forms at each one of those opportunities. There was a couple forms that I didn't have filled out in my submission package. So I took those as just learning opportunities where I did something good, but I did something bad where it eliminated. And I talked for both of those opportunities. I talked to the core, which is the contract officer representative. And in each one of those situations, they were like, you had the best bid, but this form right here, you didn't submit. One was a roofing opportunity. And it would have been a nice piece of money for me. But there was a bond form that I didn't get the company that I was working with to fill out their form. So because I didn't fill out the bond form, basically saying that the contracting company was insured, they were bonded, I lost that opportunity. I was upset. The company that I was working with was upset because basically we had the best bid, and because of an error on my part, we didn't win. I know they were kind of upset with me, but I mean, there was nothing I could do about that. So I chalked that up as a learning opportunity. And then there was another one that, the other one that I lost because of a technicality. There was a form that I didn't get notarized. So I did get that form notarized, and because I didn't have that notarized form, that disqualified me from winning that opportunity. So out of the first 8 bids that I had submitted, 2 of those I had done well, but there was just mistakes that I had made along the way, which forfeited me from winning those opportunities. So kind of knew that I was doing something that was good. Well, there was one of the bids that I submitted, and I never heard anything back. Well, about a month and a half ago, I would say back in this is April. I would say the end of February, I received a call from the contracting office, and basically they called me to see if the bid that I had submitted, if the price of the bid I had submitted was still a good price. And I told them yes, that was. And I reached out to the company that was going to subcontract under me to reiterate that the price they gave me was still a good price, and they assured me that yes, it was. So I sent the contracting officer a email saying yes, the bid is still good. And I knew that I had heard on different, there's a couple different government contract people that are on YouTube that I watch, and one of them is Dr. West, I think West Fisher. Dr. West, if you put in Dr. West and you put in government contracting, his information will come up. And basically they said that if you received a phone call or you heard from the contract office, it was probably 95 to 100% that you had won the contract. So when I heard from them, I was excited. But that wasn't, I was excited, but they didn't tell me that I won the contract. So I would say after about 2 weeks of getting that phone call, I reached back out to the contracting office and sent the email to ask some questions. Didn't get a response. So I would say about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from the contracting officer, and they were like, is everything good? And I was like, well, yeah, I have reached out to the contract office a couple times. I made a couple phone calls, left a couple messages. I never heard anything back. So I kind of backed off, and he was like, oh, no, 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 no. He was like, we were calling to inform you that you won the contract. So basically, they informed me that I won the contract. The contract was for pest control services. So basically, I found a pest control company in Texas that was going to perform the work. I was going to be basically the program manager. I'm the person that's going to run the project. So basically, I got a notification in the mail that said that my company was chosen, had the accepting bid for the contract. So notified me that I won. I notified the company that we had won. And one thing I can say is the company that I worked with, there were 30 other companies that received quotes from the organization that I work with. And of those 30 quotes that they give, I'm not sure if theirs were different from mine or not, but basically I know that I won the contract. So basically the contract that I won, it's not for a large amount. I mean, it's for some money. It's money that's going to be coming into my company. But basically the contract is for 5 years. The first year we do the contract, based upon our workmanship, the company I'm working with, based upon how they perform the work, will go a long way with basically my company getting renewed for the contract for the next 5 years. So basically, won the contract, and now I have a contract where I will have capital coming into my company for the next 5 years. I've already started working on the next batch of bids that I'm going to be working on. Um, I've been working on that bid the last 2 or 3 days. I've been writing it and basically getting all my numbers calculated right, because I think I think I have a good chance to win this one, just based off of the information that I've received from the company that I'm working with. So I gave you all a little bit background on what I've been doing with my organization, and the purpose of tonight's show is to, if you are thinking about something, a side gig or something that you want to do, I think you should look into government contracting. Government contracting is something that basically you're going to get out of it what you put into it. It's just about research skills, following up, calling organizations, and getting quotes, writing the bids, and submitting the bids. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share this video out. Subscribe to the page. This is a different conversation than some of the conversations we've had in the past. It's a little bit different. Talking about ways to make money, being an entrepreneur, doing something on your own. So, any questions that you all have in regards to government contracting, I will try to answer to the best of my knowledge. And if I don't, I'll look it up and I'll get the answer. But any questions that y'all have about government contracting, things of that nature, we can talk about this stuff tonight. But I got some information, and I'm going to talk about the steps. I'm going to talk about the steps of how you start a government contracting company. So the first thing that you want to do when you're starting a government contracting company is you want to come up with a name. You want to come up with the name for your organization. It can be catchy. It can be straightforward. It can be the initials of your first and last name. Consulting company. It can be anything. But you want to come up with that, and you want to form a legal entity. Basically, you want to start an LLC or a corporation, uh, sole proprietorship, etc. It's based off what you want to do in terms of your tax base, your tax structure. Me, I started a LLC. There's different websites that you can go through to get your website. I mean, it costs some, depending on what state you live in and how much it costs to form an organization in that state. It can cost as low as $100. I know in Kentucky and Ohio probably have some of the cheapest. It's like in Kentucky it was $100, and in Ohio it was $100 for me to basically get my LLC registered with the state so that I could do business in those states. So after you come up with the name and you send out for your LLC, get registered with the state so that you can perform business in the state that you live in, then you're going to get a UEI number and a DUNS number. You don't really necessarily need to get a DUNS number. They're not really using Duns and Bradstreet any longer. I mean, some companies do use the information. Basically, it's a way for a company to look up your organization to see that you are a company. But basically, if you have a UEI number, and you get a UEI number by registering with sam.gov. There are two or three, there's many different websites that you can go to look for government contract work. But the main website to use would be sam.gov. Basically, it's the system for award management. Basically, any contract awards or things they're going to be announced on sam.gov first. Any contracting opportunities that come out, they're going to be on sam.gov first. As well as contracting opportunities on sam.gov. Sam.gov does have other grants and things of that nature that you can also apply for through sam.gov. And I'm going to log on to sam.gov right now so that I can show you all some examples of what you do on sam.gov. When you register on sam.gov and you start an account, and the thing about it is you can start an account on sam.gov without being registered on sam.gov. But in order to apply for any contracting opportunity with the federal government, you have to be registered with sam.gov. You have to have a UEI number, and basically that is how you will be contacted. So when you sign up on sam.gov, you have to basically give all your banking. Another thing, I skipped a step. So once you have come up with your organization name and you've registered with the state, you've registered as LLC, the next thing that you would need to do is get a bank account. You need to get a business bank account. Go to any bank, the banking institution you bank with. If you go with them and you tell them that you want to open a business bank account, first thing they're going to do is ask you for your tax ID number. That's another thing. I should have wrote all this out, but you'll need to go to irs.gov and you'll need to get a tax ID number For your business, you'll need to give them your business name. When you contact the IRS Gov, you can get your tax ID number immediately by going to irs.gov or even calling 1-800, I think it's 1-800 something 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 1040. But if you look up IRS on Google, they'll give you the 1-800 number. You're going to call them, you're going to get a tax ID number. With that tax ID number, then you're going to register for the LLC, because you cannot register for an LLC without having the name and the tax ID number. Once you get all the information back, that's when you go to sam.gov and you register with sam.gov. Because like I said, you can look up contracting opportunities on sam.gov without being registered. But in order to submit bids for those contracting opportunities, you have to be registered with sam.gov. Registering with sam.gov can be done by the individual. There's lots of information that you will need to have on hand when you do register, but it can be done. Most companies are going to charge you upwards of $400 to $500 to register you on sam.gov. Like I said, you can do it individually. They're just different tax forms and state forms that you're going to need to have on hand when you register with them, and you're going to have to submit that information to sam.gov. Once you've submitted all that information to sam.gov, within 6 to 12 weeks, you will receive a UEI number, and that's your unique identifying number. That's the number that you're going to use on all your documentations when you when you submit for bids. That is the information that you're going to use. That is the identifying number that the government organizations will be able to look you up. We'll stop right there and catch my breath and go back and look at some of these comments. But yeah, even if you have started another type of business, tell us in the chat what type of business you have that you do on the side for extra money. No, I'm not 8A. I am trying to get, basically, in order to apply for the 8A certification, you have to be working on your government contracting company full time for at least a year. So I've been working full time on my government contracting company for about 9 months now. So I got 3 more months as well. You have to have won a contract. I think you have to have won at least $100,000 in value. That's not how much your company made. You have to have made at least $100,000 in contract value in order to apply for 8A. Because when you apply for 8A, basically it gives you special exemption in the government contract space, and you can use that exemption for up to 8 years. When you have an 8A, companies will basically seek out your company to work because they can utilize. The thing about it is, when you're a small organization and you have an 8A, if you partner with a large company that has graduated from the 8A program, they can partner with you and utilize your 8A program, your 8A certification, to get a leg up on some of the other competition. Lots of times, government contracting companies will partner with companies and basically just have them do some type of administrative work, where basically you're going to make a lot of money while the larger company uses your 8A certification to win portions of large contracts. So that's one thing that the 8A certification is good for, but you have to be working full time with your government contracting company for at least a year. That's a good question. Good question, YWG. It should be a LLC. Yes. I'm not going to say that LLC is the legal designation that I used for my organization. It's what I used. Another reason that government contracting is something good to get into is because with having an LLC, there are, I think the last time, I think it was it's over 300 different deductions that you can utilize when you're doing taxes. And one thing I will say is that when you file individual taxes, 1040, easy, 1040, any 1040, where basically you're filing as a consumer. I think there's only three deductions that you are able to utilize, and most people aren't even able to use those three deductions. So when you register your company and you have a tax ID number, business tax ID number, then you can file your taxes as a business still. But what that does is if you're working a full-time job, say you're working a full-time job and you make $80,000 a year, by having that tax ID number and having a side business, the money that you put into the business losses, say your company doesn't make any money the first year, but you have $15,000 in business expenses, which is a loss against your company. That $15,000 that is a loss, you can use that with your personal taxes to reduce your tax base. So if you made 65,000, you made 80. If you made $80,000, but your company was in the arrearage of $15,000, basically that 15 will come off your $80,000, and then your tax base would go from an $80,000 tax base to a $65,000 tax base. And in all likelihoods, you would get a refund. So that's one of the benefits of having a business, is that you are afforded those 300 and whatever number of deductions against your money. Whereas when you file individual taxes, I think there's three. And I think one of those is the earned income credit, and I don't know anyone that has ever been able to use the earned income tax credit unless they had children. I think usually women are afforded. I've never known a man to be able to use that. So having a business allows you to have losses against full-time money that you make. So it lowers your tax base. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Any questions y'all have about, I'll try to answer. Not a lawyer, not any of that, but I will try to, answer your question to the best of my ability. As well, when you register your company, you want to register as a small business organization. There's two different designations that you can: small business and underprivileged small business. And basically there are set asides. There are set asides that you can utilize as being a small business, as well as a small minority business. Basically, there are set asides that these government contracting agencies basically have designated contracts for small businesses. The contract that I won, it was a 100% set aside for a small business. So large businesses could not bid on the opportunity that I won. Only small businesses. Now, YWG asked a question about 8A certification. When you get 8A certification, you have 8 years to grow your business to the point where you can graduate from being a small business. Now, you don't have to graduate from being a small business, but after 8 years, you lose the 8A designation and you no longer can use those set asides. So what it is the 8A program promotes small businesses to partner mentor protege programs with larger businesses to grow their organizations to the point where when they graduate, they can also help someone with the 8A certification. So 8A certification will afford you the ability to basically be a mentor protege with a company. Some companies will be a mentor protege with you even without the 8A certification, but that's kind of hard. You really have to have like a personal relationship with someone in the organization. But when you have the 8A certification, companies will partner with you for you to be a protege under their mentorship. Usually when that happens, those companies are bringing you aboard different contract vehicles where you're going to be able to learn the other side of the business while you're making money. How much did it cost to get government contract? It costs $0 to start a government contract. $0. There is no cost associated with starting a government contracting company. You don't have to have a website. Basically, you can submit contracts without having a website. It's not necessary. Government contract companies, they're worried about who has the lowest bid. The government contracting company, the agency is going to take the lowest bid. That's what they're worried about. Now, when you submit your bids as a new company, I'm getting ahead of myself. I utilize the middleman strategy. I utilize the middleman strategy in terms of contracting opportunities. And what I mean by the middleman strategy is I go through sam.gov. I'll show you. I'll pull this up so y'all can see. So you can understand what I'm saying. So, being that I'm registered on sam.gov, I can go on their search. I can go to their search engine, and you'll see over here, like I was saying, it's not just government contracting opportunities. They have contracting opportunities. They have federal assist opportunities. There's all types of opportunities, grants, things. The government is looking for services as well as giving people grants to perform different things. So, what I usually do is I go on here and I click contracting. So I'm looking for contract opportunities. Then I go down here to set asides. And the set asides that I utilize are total small business set asides, partial small business set asides, where some of it's for large companies and some of it's for small companies. YWG said something about 8A. There's 8A set asides and there's 8A sole source certified. So those are basically, I wouldn't even, if I was to have 8A certification, yeah, I would look at total small business part, but the main thing I would look at would be 8A because basically, yeah, those are the opportunities. Once you have 8A certification, it's a way for your company to grow quickly. Now, after I've put total and partial set asides, I'm going to look at the notice type. So the notice types for the opportunities that I'll look for. Sometimes I look up sources sought. Sometimes I look at pre-solicitation. I don't really look at those too much because basically they're not even an opportunity yet. It's a pre-solicitation. So I look at sources sought and I look at solicitations. So today, Tuesday, April 15th, there are approximately 2,323 contracting opportunities in the United States for small businesses. And it can be anything. It can be a company may need 50 computers. Now, you could go through a company and ask an organization, do they have 50 of these types of computers? And if they do, you get a quote from them, you submit your bid. It's as easy as that. Now, I will say this, you can't be shy because it's cold calling. It is cold calling. You're going to look up an opportunity. You're going to let me see. Let me go down this list. Video production services. So the Department of Defense, Department of Army, National Guard, USPFO Activity Management 175. That's the company that is the government organization that is looking for video production services. So basically you see that video production services, this was published today. This opportunity was published today. The offers for this opportunity are due in 10 days. So basically from today, you have 10 days to find a company, write up a bid, and turn it back. So I got ahead of myself a little bit. So when you form your government contracting company, you're going to look up NAICS codes for what types of services you want to offer. You're going to go, if you type in NAICS codes in Google, there's different websites that will come up, but you want to use a government website. Go to that government website for NAICS codes. Then you're going to type in, you know what? We'll just do it. Code lookup. Okay. So, it's the NAICS code website that you can go to. So basically, you'll see this. You'll see if you want to do something in arts, entertainment, and recreation. Basically, there's different codes that you're going to put on your SAM.gov application as the services that you're going to offer. Now, if you want to offer dance services and music services, stuff like that, you're going to look up 711120. That would be your NAICS code. Now, your company can have more than one NAICS code. I have 12 NAICS codes listed as services that my company can perform. Then you're gonna just go down this list, and it'll give you a list. Let's go. Where's the administrative services? Here we go. Other services. Automotive repair. There's a list of NAICS codes that you can list. Personal house goods. Personal care services. Dry cleaning services. Personal services. Pet care. photo finishing, 1 hour photo finishing, parking lots and garages, religious organizations, civic organizations, business associations, just private households. There's even an NAICS code for private households. So there's a number of services, and these are all these. They wouldn't have these codes if these weren't services that the government was looking for. The government is looking for all types of services and companies that can perform those services for them. Now, back to the middleman strategy. Basically, with the middleman strategy, what I do is, like I said, this we have this right here. Let me go back over here. Back at Sam.gov. So you got this contract opportunity right here for video production services. Now, what I would do tomorrow is they're looking for video production services. So first thing you want to do is you're going to come down here, and like some of them, they have the link at the bottom just on sam.gov. And then there's somewhere you have to go to another website. It takes you to another website. And you'll see this here where basically total small business set aside for video production services. And they're looking for photo, map, print, publication, film, videotape production, motion, picture, and video production. So basically, I'm going to find a company and it's the Maryland Air National Guard that's looking for video production services. So basically, you pull up this document and you're going to go through it and you're going to read it. It's going to tell you everything that the government is looking for to be performed on this contract. So this one says this recruiting video project will film a Martin State Airport, Maryland Air National Guard, and other key landmarks across the state to showcase why a potential recruit should consider joining the Maryland Air National Guard. So basically, they're looking for someone to create a video for them. All this is going to be performed at the 175th Operation Group of Public Affairs. You're going to work between 6:30 in the morning and 5. And basically, you're going to read through this document so that when you call a video production company in Maryland, somewhere close to this place, you will be able to tell them, I need a quote for services to perform what they're looking for in this document. The company says, yes, we can perform those services, and I'll give you a quote on this. Basically, you would send them the pertinent information. You probably wouldn't send them the whole document. You just want to send them the information that's going to describe to them what you need to be performed. You don't want to give them any contact information or any other. The thing about it is you're the contracting company. It's a need to know basis. You don't give them everything. You give them what they are going to do. They give you a quote. You use their quote, add your markup on it in your bid, and submit. That's what you do. You'll have companies that will say, well, we're going to do the work and you're going to get paid. Yeah. I'm bringing the opportunity to you. Now, the government will only communicate with you. The government does not communicate with the subcontractor. The government communicates with you, and you relay messages to the company. So it's as easy as that. It's as easy as going on sam.gov, finding an opportunity, finding a company that can do the work on that opportunity, and then writing up the bid and submitting it. That's what you do. Hit the like button. Share this video out. Subscribe to the page. It's like I told y'all, we talk about lots of different things. I can't be a person that's gonna talk about the same type of stuff every week all the time. I have too many likes to just talk about one thing. So I have been successful. That's the reason I'm doing this. Is now I can say I won a contract. I have a method to winning, and now it's just about replicating that. Because the thing about it is, you have to submit bids to win. The more bids you submit, the more chances you have to win. Okay, Scorp said that she has a sewing business that she does on the side. How much does it cost to sign up on SAM.gov? You can sign up on SAM.gov for free. It's hard. You got to have a whole lot of information. Companies charge $5 for the first time that I registered with the first and the second time. I'm going to do it on my own this time. The first year and the second year I signed up, I let the company do it. Sign me up and make all the changes that I need. Because the thing about it is when it is easier to go through a company. But the thing about it is anything this company is doing, you can do it on your own. So now I'm to the point where I've paid somebody to do it twice. I know the process of how to do it now. Now I'm going to renew myself on my own. And it'll be free. Now, if you need help on doing this, I can help you. But my time costs money. But I'm not trying to. It's just like these government contracts. I don't know how many contracting companies there were going for the bid that I won, but I know that the company that I worked with, they gave the numbers that they gave me out to 30 other organizations. Now, I'm not sure what type of markups they were putting on theirs, but the thing about it is you're not trying to get rich off one contract. Now, you can. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not trying to get rich off one contract. I want to win. So the object is to have the lowest bid. It's the only thing you need to know about government contracting is the government is going to go with the lowest bid every time. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. So there's all types of. I'm gonna show you one that I tried, but I didn't have any success. But I guess it could be kind of easy. Catholic services. Catholic musician services. Now, the only thing you got to do is find somebody, a minister of Catholic music. I could have. I called. The thing about it is you have to think outside the box. So the Catholic music services contract that I tried to work on, first thing I did is I saw where the contract was being performed at. I called the archdiocese. I called the Catholic archdiocese and asked them could they put me in contact with a minister of Catholic music. Now, maybe that was the wrong term, but they got me in contact with someone that understood Catholic musician services. Or basically what types of music they use in Catholic Mass or in Catholic church services. The man that I contacted, he had already been contacted by another organization. And now, some companies will give their quote to other companies. And there will be companies that will only deal with one person. So it just depends. Now, this man that I talked to, he had already partnered with an organization, beat me to him by 2 or 3 hours. He decided he just wanted to work with them. So basically, he worked with that company, and basically he told them that, I mean, he told them that he would charge them about $40 an hour, because I think it was like 20 something hours a week. Then they had to go to the Catholic Mass and perform the music there and things of that nature. So it came out to like 20. If he said he would do it for $40 an hour, you would offer the services somewhere between 60 and $80 an hour. You could go lower, but the thing is to make money. You don't want to be tied to a 5-year contract that you're only making $50 every month on. You don't want to do that. So, but you want to win. You want to win. Okay, YWG says, so you start a company. At what point in your growth do you add employees? When you win a lot of contracts. When you get to the point where you can't handle the load of all the contracts you've won. I would say that's when you want to add employees. Right now, it's just me. I just need me. I do everything. I'm the person that calls the companies. I'm the person that gets the quotes. I'm the person that takes the quotes and calculates what my company should make. I'm the person that writes the bids. I'm the person that puts the bid together. I'm the person that I'm doing everything. And then once I get done, I'm submitting the information. Now I will say this, even if you don't have a website, you do want to have letterhead. I did pay someone to make me letterhead, and the person that made my logo for my company is the same person that made my letterhead and things and marketing tools that I have for my company. The person that made my logo, they gave me about 8 different logo pictures, some logos, some with the logo and my scene, different layouts, as well as he created stationery for me. So there's things that you can do. You can go to websites like Fiverr, where you can find people that will make you logos, copywritten logos. Now, you can go to people that will make you a logo and won't be copywritten. You want to go to somebody that's going to copyright your logo so that no one else can use your logo. Hey, Queen Kima, how are you tonight? We got caramel sweets in here tonight. So yeah, government contracting can be something that you can do if you're a researcher. If you like to research, government contracting is something that you would love, because there's just so many different types of opportunities on here. Some of them are sole source. Some of them, some of them are just quotes. Some of them you just have to fill out a pricing sheet and send the pricing sheet in and wait to see if your pricing sheet is the best one. So some of it is you're going to have some type of aptitude for writing, but like I said, some of it is just quotes. They just want the quote. They just want the price sheet of how much it's going to cost for you to do what you want to do. Now, it's always better to be able to write that and explain that along with that pricing sheet. But you can just submit pricing sheets sometimes. So this is something that anybody can do. Like I said, they have transportation contracts. If you got a transportation company, you can look over here and look for transportation. They got, if you get elevator services, you call the elevator company and ask them how. Some of the thing about it is you have to read the document, because some of the government contracts, they have site visits where the companies can come to where the work is going to be performed, so that they can get a real idea of how much it's going to cost for the work to be done. You want to partner with companies that will go to those site visits, because that's how you're going to get a true quote. Now, you can get quotes. Sometimes they have pictures and they have specifications that you can read without having to go to the site visit. But if they have site visits, you want to go to the site visits. You want the company to go to the site visit. Some of these companies that you're going to partner with, you're never going to meet them. So you have to be able to talk to these people, because you're never going to meet these people, but you're going to want these people to perform work for you. So you're gonna, verbal communication skills are a must in government contracting. If you're a person that doesn't like to talk on the phone, or you get flustered by asking people tough questions, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to do that. So government contract work, like, roofing, multiple word construction contract. If you know somebody that has a construction company, construction contracts make big, big money. It's big in government contract. So I mean, there's so much. I've ran across one that a government company needed a new fleet of cars. Small business set aside, and basically you had to contact a car dealership to see if you could purchase 15. And they always give you something. They give you a car. It can be like they'll say, we need 15 cars equivalent, a Dodge Odyssey or the equivalent of a Dodge Odyssey, meaning that they want 15 minivans to those specifications. Now it's just up to you to find a company that can provide 15 cars at a price to the government. Government contracting is just about talking to people, building relationships. If you're a good relationship builder, government contracting is for you, because you can call people and get. Usually I call people and I have quotes with. You want the quote as quickly as possible, because the quicker you get the quote, the quicker you can finish the bid. You never want to wait till the last minute to submit a bid. I always try to submit my bids within a week out, because if they get the bid, sometimes they will look at your bid, and if there's some mistakes or you need something else, they'll reach back out to you and say, okay, you submitted this bid, you need this, we need this, you didn't add this. So sometimes you can have time to correct your submission once you turn it in. Now, everybody doesn't do that, but I have had contracting officers call me and say, we received your bid, you didn't have such and such in here, I need you to get this in here, you still got time, but just want to let you know. So waiting to the last minute can be a detriment. I always try to send my stuff at least a week out. The one that I'm working on now is due on April the 24th. I have all the information. I'm basically writing the bid now. I'll probably submit it sometime between now and Friday, but yeah, I'm gonna send it in. But this one, it's due on the 24th, and they're probably going to award the contract that same day, because this contract starts on May 15th. So when you win the award, basically the company, they get you set up in invoicing. All of your invoice. So basically, the government contract that I won, my job is to submit invoices. I get paid to submit invoices. That's what I do. I submit the invoices. The pest control services company performs the work every month. Once they've completed the work, they submit me an invoice. I invoice the government. The government pays net 30. So from the day that I submitted they'll pay my invoice within 30 days. Once they pay my invoice within 30 days, I pay the contracting company. That's all I do. Other than write the bid and the work and make sure the work is done right out the schedule, all that stuff. I do all that. But the company's doing work. I get paid to manage it. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Does anybody have any questions? So yeah, as you all can see, there's 2,000, 2,300 opportunities for different services. Leased vehicles, a CDC, they need sheds to be replaced. Water testing, telephone services, janitorial services. Janitorial services are some of the best money making. I've submitted for a couple janitorial services contracts. I haven't had a chance to win, but yeah. And most government contracts are one-offs, meaning you're paying somebody, you're getting paid for a company to perform painting services or window replacements or something like that. But most opportunities are base plus 4 option years. It's a 5-year contract, 5-year opportunity. So if you win a government contract, it's highly likely that you're going to have that contract for 5 years if the services are good. I can guarantee that I'm going to get a paycheck from the government for 5 years. And you can have 10 government contracts. You're not really, you take on as much as you can, like YWG said. When do you start to add employees? When you win 10 contracts or something, then yeah, that would be right here. You can grow fast in the government contracting space because you can submit bids every day. Now, I am in no way an expert. I am not an expert. This is something I'm talking to you all. This is stuff that I've learned along the way of doing government contract work. But yeah, it was trial and error. The first year that I was on SAM.gov, I submitted four bids, and I didn't hear anything about any of those bids. You cannot get easily. You cannot. Government contracting is you cannot, just because you don't win, you got to keep going. You can't get discouraged. It's like anything. It just takes one government agency to like your bid, or it takes one for you to have the lowest bid one time. But doing this, you kind of learn. Because lots of government contracting companies are trying to get rich off one contract. They had to be. In the contract that I won, I wasn't greedy. Put what I thought was what it was worth. I won. So it's you like I said, there are opportunities where you can make a lot of money on one contract, yes. But I'd rather go slow and steady. I'd rather go slow and steady. Because my object is to make money where enough money where I can go somewhere. Because the thing about government contracting is it can be done from anywhere. Government contracting can be done from anywhere. Yeah, government contracting can be done from anywhere. It doesn't cost anything to get started. Now you can't pay to short with anything. There's gonna be ways to pay for shortcuts. You pay $500. Somebody does your SAM.gov registration for you, and you have your stuff in 4 to 6 weeks. Or you can do it yourself, and it may take you 4 or 5 hours to go through everything and to get everything. But that $4 or $5 is worth not paying somebody $500. YWG works in the government contractor space. That's where me and YWG met 20 some years ago, 18, something like it, somewhere. But we met working for a government contracting company. And I was the recruiter, and YWG works in the IT space. We'll just say that. Works in the IT space. And basically, when I was there working at that government contract, I was being that it's just funny because we worked at a company where we had constant interaction with the owners of the company. We saw the company that we worked at, it was in its infant stages. I think we moved 2 office buildings in 2.5 years. We started off at one space, and as the company won contracts, we moved to a bigger space and a bigger space. And that's what I mean by money. Your company can grow. Now, that contract vehicle that YWG was working on, when he still works on that now, the contract that he works on is with another company. It's not with the company that we worked with, but he still works. And that's the thing about government contract work is lots of times that contract will get, when it comes to recompete, another company will win that contract. Sometimes they keep you on. Sometimes they let you go and they bring their own employees in. So that's the government contract space can be very volatile, especially on the recruitment side. Because if your company is not winning contracts, they don't need recruiters. So when I was working at these government contract companies that I was working at, I was learning the business as well as performing my duties. That's what anyone should do. Your job is to, as a college, even if you're not a college graduate, but a college graduate says you can learn. So basically, you go and you learn the job. You don't just learn the job; you learn the business, especially when you have access to the owners of an organization. You want to learn the other side of the business. My job was to work at a job, learn the job, figure out how to do the job on my own. I worked for a government contracting company. I saw that it just comes down to writing and having the infrastructure, the writing infrastructure, to be able to write, to be able to communicate, to be able to have business to business communications, to have business to business interactions, to have people to trust you through phone conversations to the point where they're going to give you a quote and you're going to use that quote to win work. And then you have to work with the people that you won the quote with. So it's just people skills. Government contracting is people skills and writing. People skills, writing, getting work done. We just passed the hour and 15 minutes in this show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share this video out. Subscribe to the page. We got RP in the house tonight. RP said the contract she wants is a stimulus. RP says she always makes sure to register business as an LLC, no matter what kind of business. And the thing about having, you can have more than one tax ID. You can have 5 tax ID numbers. You can have 5 businesses. Yeah, you can have more than one tax ID number. You have more than one business. RP says limited liability corporation is to make sure if you get sued, they can't take your house. And now, I didn't want to. That is the reason why you get an LLC, because they can only sue the business. They can't sue you and take your stuff. That's why you get an LLC. I didn't want to say it, but RP said it. Now that's what I was talking about. The legal info. Yeah, I'm telling you about the things, but you gotta look it up yourself. But RP's telling y'all LLC is the best. I have an LLC. If you have a YouTube page, that you have bought microphones and soundboards and computers and laptops, you can register your YouTube page as your business. These are business expenses. This soundboard, my laptops, these are business expenses. When you travel and you make videos on YouTube and you travel by airplane to get those videos, that is a business expense. You can use your LLC for your YouTube page. Your YouTube page is a side business. Thank you, RP, for taking me to another branch of this tree. Thank you. Right. YWG said contracts usually last 5 years. Now, you can win the recompete over and over and over, but most of the times, companies will win the recompete, and then after, another company wins it. But they will keep the people on that contract that they had sometimes. Ladies of RP always come through dropping gems. Yeah. That is the reason why you want an LLC, because they can only sue the business. They can't take your personal belongings. Can't take your personal belongings. So yeah. Government contract work or anything entrepreneurial, get an LLC. Your YouTube page is a business. Your YouTube page is a business. You best believe I'm getting my money back from Restream. I'm getting my money back from Canva. Yeah, that's business expenses. I get all my money back from my cell phones. 100% of the money that I pay for my cell phones, I get that money back at the end of the year because it's a business expense. All my trips that I go on, I always have a business meeting when I go on my trips. That makes that trip a business meeting. No matter where I'm at, I have business meetings. If I'm in the Dominican Republic, I'm having a business meeting. If I'm in Mexico, I'm having a business meeting, because those are business business expenses. I don't go on vacations. I go on business trips. Donald Trump is in office. I'm using all of Trump's tactics. Believe it. I don't go on vacations. I go on business trips where I have some fun. Scorp, you can ask me anything. Most definitely, you can ask me anything, Scorp. Come on now. Ask me anything, Scorp. You can do this. I've seen videos of 18-year-old high school students made $50,000 on one deal for some computer. This young guy found some computer. A company needed 50. Like I just told you, a company needed 50 computers. He found a distributor that had 50 of those computers. They gave him a price. He tripled, doubled, or tripled the price, or whatever the case. $50,000 on one transaction. You can do it. You can do it. I'm proof. You can win government contracts. But yeah, we must start thinking as entrepreneurs. We must look at ourselves as businesses. We are no longer look at yourself as a consumer. Consumers get no tax rights. Businesses, I got my largest tax refund in my life this year. Now, I'm not going to say how much my tax refund was, but I got my largest tax refund ever this year. Just because of all the business expenses I had. Now, you can't keep having big losses every year. The government will ask you, is this a job or is this a hobby? So, just know, there has to be there must be some money coming in. Now, you can always have a negative because of business expenses, but there must be some money flow coming in, or the government will question you on, is this a hobby? Or is this something that you're really trying to make money on? But yeah, having a business, I received my largest tax refund ever this year. And it was nice because I needed it. It was nice. Yeah. And that tax refund was because of all the business expenses I paid for all these websites, all Chat GPT and Canva, everything that I pay for that is utilized because of some of the work that I do. Yeah. I want all mines back. I want all mines back. And the only way you can get it all back is if it's a business expense. Now we're on here. I'm talking about starting a government contracted business because it's easy, it's free. You don't need any money because you don't have to pay money to get your tax ID. You're gonna have to pay upwards of $100 to get registered with the LLC. And then you in business. Then it's just about getting on SAM.gov, getting a UEI number after you register on SAM.gov, and then start bidding on contracts. Contracts are being put on sam.gov every day. There's not a day that goes by that a new contract does not. I look at sam.gov every day. Every day there's new contracts. Every day. I'm looking for I'm gonna submit this. I'm gonna submit this bid that I got for this this bid that I'm working on now is a portable toilets contract. Porta potties. The contract I'm working on now is for delivery of an excess amount of porta potties for the whole summer. Porta potties can be very lucrative, especially when you start talking about wheelchair accessible porta potties, which I didn't even know they had. And you can get porta potties with hand wash stations. It's just stuff that I didn't know about. But yeah, that's my next contract I'm working on is a porta potties contract for the delivery, the servicing, the pickup, and for the entire summer. And the profit margins are very, very good. There's HVAC services. Yeah, somebody the government agency needs an HVAC replaced. Can you find an HVAC company that will give you an estimate so that this is government contracting company is just utilize your research skills. That's all you have to do. Janitorial services. Yeah, roof replacements, sidewalk and driveway concrete repair, tree planting, airport blacktopping. The airport needs runway blacktop. Can you find a company that will? Can you find a company that will pave their run? Yeah, it's research. Starting a government contracting company doesn't cost any money. Starting a company doesn't. Now, getting the company registered with the state, $100. Then you win the game. I did not do any PPP loans. I was scared. I ain't gonna even lie. It was just me. I wasn't trying to go to jail. I did not do a PPP loan. Was that your question, Squirt? Did I get a PPP? No, I did not get a PPP loan. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared. Because if they was gonna do any scrutinizing, it was gonna be minority businesses, and I wasn't gonna get scrutinized. I'm good. I didn't need no PPP loan. I didn't want no Lamborghini. I didn't want no Lamborghini that way. Yeah, I didn't want to walk around with the money phone. Nah. I didn't want no parts of that. I didn't want no parts of the PPP loan. They are still prosecuting people for PPP loan lies. Yeah, they still looking for them. Yeah. If you didn't get that PPP money on that first go around, you shouldn't even try to get no PPP loan. Because the people that got the first PPP loans, they didn't check for those. They checked for the second and the third because they know everybody had found out about them. And then that was when people started scheming and Nah. If you didn't get no PPP loan on that everybody, when everybody was, if you didn't get it then, no, because they weren't going to scrutinize their first set of people. It was the people that found out about it and did it on the second and the third and tried to get it into I was good on PPP loan. That wasn't for me. Because I hadn't won any and then another thing is I hadn't won any contracts then. I hadn't won any contracts. So I didn't have any capital coming in to be asking for any relief. So I was scared. I know people that did. I do know people that did take out PPP loans, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. We just passed the hour and a half. Hit the like button, share this video well, subscribe to the page. What do we have any entrepreneurs watching? What business do you do? I know we got Chroma Sweets. Chroma Sweets, she does a whole lot. Chroma Sweets does a whole lot. We got Squirt Mama. She does sewing. Who else we got in here? Those are two ladies that I know have their own businesses. Queen Kim, are you thinking about doing government contracting? You should. You've been working in the government. Well, you was working in the government space for many years now, and you should be government contracting, Queen Kim. You know the ins and outs. Yeah, Chroma Sweet, she got her own business. Squirt Mama, she has her own business. And these are services provided companies. They make things for people. But yeah, government contracting can be a lucrative opportunity for anyone that is looking to put in the work. It's not something you need to do 8 hours a day. Now, you can do it 8 hours a day. You can. But, yeah, you get out of what you put into it. I'm not going to lie. I probably work on my government about 5 hours a day. About 5 hours a day. I worked on the bid that I'm submitting this week. I worked on it today for about 5 hours. I'm almost done with it. Because the thing about it is I got balance sheets laying out. I'm looking at margins. I'm looking at price margins. I'm looking at, is this bid going to be a good bid? And then the thing about that is you don't just call one company. Sometimes I call 2 or 3 companies because I want to see who's going to give me the best quote. Now, it's always dependent on time. But you want to call more than one company unless you just get a price that is not going to be beat. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Scorp. That is why I did not get a PPP loan. Because if anything, dealing with money and loans and forgiving loans, and somebody has to be the scapegoat. And I already knew who the scapegoats was going to be when it came to PPP loans, because I already know what Ninjas is going to do with that money. You know what Ninjas is going to do with that money. Yeah, I don't need no money to stunt. The thing about it is, you working in the government contractor space, you don't want none of that. You don't want none of that type of. You don't want that type of. Can't be doing no criminal thing. Thing about it is, you can't get on sam.gov with Can't have no criminal act. Yeah. Nah. Cause the thing about it, the government, that you have to. They're going to do. It's the government. So they're gonna do it. Yeah. The government is sending out millions of dollars at the touch of a button. Yeah, they do some. Yeah. Nah, I didn't want nothing to do with no PPP loans. Yeah, exactly. They gonna flex. That's why they going after black folks, is because black folks is out here flexing, buying Lamborghinis, and I got the money phone. I got the money. I get some money like that, I'm gonna be real quiet. Ain't nobody gonna even know. Ain't nobody gonna even know I got the PPP loan money. So nah. But yeah, we'll probably do this a little bit more often. Talk about entrepreneurship, because that is where everything is going. We can't depend on you can't depend on these companies to. Oh, we know this. You can't depend. Now you got a government job. You can't depend on that now, because you will get fired by Doge in the government now. So we have to be more entrepreneurial. And one way that we can do that is with the government. Because the thing about the government is they ain't racist when it comes to this government contract. The only color they know is green and work being provided. The stuff that you're going to have to worry about in the private sector, you're not going to have to worry about that working with the government. The government don't even know what you look like. They just know you can do the work. That is one good thing about working in the government contracting space and doing government contracting, is your color don't really mean nothing. Not in this space. There's lots of spaces where your skin color can be a detriment. We know this. Government contracting is not one of those spaces. It's not one of those spaces. Because 90% of the time, you're never going to meet the people that are doing the work for you. I'm here in Kentucky, and the work that I want to contract is being performed in Texas. Now, in that 5 years, I may go and visit the contracting company, because you want to show people that you appreciate the work that you're doing for them. So at some point, I probably will go down to Texas to the company and just take them something. You know, we're going to be partners for 5 years. You want to show people that you appreciate them. Okay, Scorp Mama says, sewing business is a starving artist business because black folks don't support. All my customers were white. They was happy to see a black person working. Wow. Scorp, you saying we don't support our own? Is that what you saying, Scorp? We don't support our own? Scorp says sewing business is a starving artist business because black folks don't support. All Scorp's customers were white, and they was happy to see a black person working. I don't know what to say. That hurts me to read that. It hurts me to read that. Scorp said, did no black people buy none of her stuff. All of her customers are white. Then if it is somebody that wanted something, they want to, yeah, let me get the hookup. Ain't no hookup. I ain't giving no shorts, because me giving you a hookup is less money out of my pocket. So I don't even, man. I do resumes, and I have people come up to me, man, my time is money. People don't understand that. They want you to write their. No, I mean, I could take your money and just throw it in Chat GPT. No, that ain't what I do. I write the resume. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't utilize Chat GPT because I do use it. But I write. I write people's resumes. I use Chat GPT to tighten it up. People don't understand. Time is money. Like Scorp said. Scorp can sew. We have seen some of Scorp's workmanship. Scorp makes good stuff. Hats, scarves, shawls, ponchos. Ain't nothing like handmade. Ain't nothing like handmade stuff. And Scorp can't get nobody black to buy none of that stuff. I want poncho, Scorp. I want my cowboy stuff too. You still ain't email me. I'm just gonna have to give you my phone number on her because damn, Scorp, I want my stuff. I want my stuff, Scorp. You want this money? I'm trying to give you this money, Scorp. But yeah, Scorp said it's a starving artist business because black people don't support her. She works with her hands. She's making bespoke stuff. And people don't want to pay. Everybody want to hook up. I don't give no people. Somebody come up to me talking that hookup stuff, man. I turn my ears off. I turn my ears off. People start talking because then the thing about it is people want to hook up, but then they want you to be. They want their stuff then. Now. I needed to. Oh man, this extra. You don't even want to pay the full price, but you want expedited services. No, Ninja. No. You're not paying full price and you want expedited services? Man, you better get the hell out of here. What's Scorp lunching about, YWG, man? Hey, man, what's she lunching about? She said, man, y'all ninjas ain't supporting her. She said the only customer she got is white folks. And me. That's the only black customer Scorp got. White folks and me. That's the only. Nah. But we gonna change that, Scorp. I'll be sending people over to your page, tell them, look, Scorp, go over and check out Scorp's page. Scorp made some. I saw Scorp. She has some. This was back. She has some Christmas tree decorations where she had. Yeah, y'all need Scorp, and y'all need to check out Scorp and Caramel. Caramel Sweets and Scorp. We got two people that make bespoke stuff. That you not going. If you buy something from Scorp or you buy something from Caramel, you're not gonna see anybody else with that on. People don't understand the importance of that. People don't understand the importance of that. It's hard being an entrepreneur. It's hard being an entrepreneur. And one reason it's hard being an entrepreneur is because, like Scorp said, your people don't even support you. Your people don't even support you. I got a cousin that got his own clothing line. And I know I be wanting, but I know I ain't been the best cousin because I haven't purchased, man, but it's hard. I be wanting to, but we don't support our own. Now, me saying that, I know I'm going to buy something for my cousin. I ain't got it, but I'm going to buy it. I got to. Because like Scorp said, if we don't support our own, who's going to support us? But yeah, we're talking about entrepreneurship. getting paid for services rendered. It takes tough skin. It takes tough skin to be an entrepreneur out here. It takes tough skin. But we talked about starting a government contracting business. Or starting any business. It doesn't have to be a government contracting business. Any business you start, you're going to come up with a name, open a bank account. Now, come up with a name, get a tax ID number, registered under that name, get an LLC. Start doing business. It's the 4 steps. Come up with a name, get a tax ID, get a bank account, get an LLC, and you in the game. Only one of those 4 do you have to spend some money. And that's to register with the state. That's to register with the state. So, as we end this show, I'll be back Thursday with another show. Not sure what the show's going to be about, but we'll be back Thursday. Entrepreneurship. But support people. You got to support entrepreneurs. That's why I always big up everybody in here. Just got a YouTube page, because your YouTube page is a business. Got to get an LLC. Got to get a tax ID. But your YouTube page is a business. Hit the like button. This has been another edition
Lab Addicts Music Group.
Adult Conversation. Hopefully I said something tonight that will make you want to start your own business. Because we got to stop being consumers. We got to stop being consumers. We got to think business minded. The only way you get those 300 and something exemptions is to think of yourself as a business. You got to have a different mindset. We cannot sit back and wait for these companies to pay us for our worth. We got to go out here and get our worth. It's your boy Maas. I'll see y'all Thursday.